Hi, I'm Dr. John Anderson and I'm a dissertation supervisor. Well, I guess initially my role is to help them choose a subject, and that can come from a range of different ways. That can come from an issue from where the student lives, from they've kind of grown up with, if you like, perhaps protecting a local area or a particular social issue that's happening in their locality. It might be something that's in the news at the time, a kind of contemporary contested issue. It might be that students might think about what they're doing in the summer, where they're going to be in the summer. They might be travelling somewhere, they might be going on a family trip, they might be doing some volunteering and thinking, could that be woven into a geographical topic? So one of my key points, I suppose, key purposes really, is to get students doing something that they enjoy, because students have to get out of bed in the morning and be motivated to do the majority of this fieldwork over the summer and then come back and write it up in the autumn. So they're going to be with this topic for 6 to 9 months of their lives, so they've got to like it from the first point of view. And then secondly, help them to see the geography in it. And that sounds kind of an odd thing to say, but to connect it back to some of their modules, to some of the theories they've been looking at in their first and second year, and create a question that isn't simply everything you wanted to know about an empirical subject, but has a geographical line of inquiry through it that's motivated perhaps by some theory. So often students start with, they're very motivated about a particular empirical subject, but through the process of doing their research, coming back in the autumn, they start realising that perhaps it has policy relevance, that can say something about theory, and perhaps it's quite interesting methodologically as well, because they're using social media in a new way. They're doing perhaps a variation on mobile methods or new forms of ethnographies or surveys or whatever it happens to be. So it might start from perhaps a relatively empirically led thesis, but develop into something far more interesting. It's really important for students to meet with their supervisors or to meet with a range of different staff when they're thinking about their subject, so they get their subject right. And then then supervisors will be allocated who are experts in that particular area. That doesn't mean to say students can't then go and see other members of staff, but that will be their formal point of contact. And before they disappear for their summer, it's really important that they meet with their supervisor, work out what their initial questions are at least, because these questions might change over the course of their research, but at least they have a roadmap about what they should be doing over the summer. They have a plan and a timeline to think who they might be interviewing, for example, what their surveys might be, what their key stakeholders they might identify before they go away, and so they can do the vast majority of their research over the summer. Time and time again, students always come back in the autumn and think, well, I've done a little bit, but perhaps I haven't done as much as they could. And they'll have real problems in the autumn semester getting everything done, because the writing up process is quite a workload in and of itself.